Okay, everybody, we'll go ahead and get started with the meeting. Firstly, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. If you guys look around the room and you see some red shirts, those guys are all repeat coaches. So, repeat coaches, thank you guys for coming here. There's not a whole lot of new information, but just your support being here shows me that you care and sets a good example for the new coaches out there that are joining the program. So, really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy schedules and joining us. Happy New Year to everybody. It's winter 2017 season, and we're really excited to start yet another one of our programs. So with that said, before we get started, I always like to play this video that our former site manager, Zach, shot while he was still here. He's up in Seattle now, but kind of just sets the tone of the organization and the league. So here we go.
Coming to I-9 for a year now, and I like it because the practices are on the same day as the game. It's very organized, and you know what to expect time and time again and season again.
Hi, my name is Brent. I coach iOS 10, which is basically 5-, 6-year-old, 7-year-olds youth soccer. I9 is awesome because we really enjoy it just as parents, watching the kids really focus on themselves and us not necessarily having such a competitive spirit, but being more focused on just the kids enjoying themselves and having a good time.
Today's sportsmanship value for our medals is going to be about being a good teammate. Does anyone have a really quick example of being a good teammate? Sportsmanship. That's a good basketball example. What about in real life? What about being a good teammate? How about when you help your parents clean the kitchen? You're on a team in your family, right? So coaches and I are going to be looking for really good teammates today. That means I should see a ton of passes. Ton of good passes, tons of talking on offense and defense. Hey, I got my man. I got your man. Go, drop the back. Very good, very good.
We've made a lot of great friends just through this community. We've got some lifelong friends now. We've got kids that are always wanting to be on the same team year after year, and I9 accommodates that. They allow us to be able to have the buddy system with the team so that we can choose what teams we want to be on the next year if we've played with other kids before, and it allows us to really create good relationships. I love I9. I'm going to be back next season. See ya.
1, 2, 3, hard work! Go, go!
You're a big blue bug. Come here. Come here, guys. Come on. I'm not going to cry, but y'all going to make me cry. Come here. Come here. Loud as we can. I-9 football on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I-9 football!
All right, everyone excited? Yeah. Fired up? Good job. Cool. Awesome. All right, so before we go on, I just wanted to talk a little bit about myself. My name is Aaron Finger. I'm the league owner for the greater Phoenix area, so that includes kind of like the West Valley and North Phoenix, Paradise Valley. I'll show you a map here in a second, but I'm originally from Phoenix. I grew up in Scottsdale. I went to U of A, studied film, and was in the movie business for about 15 years. Worked on movies like Sin City, Tron, Thor, Penguins of Madagascar. Was living in India a couple of years before I moved back here. Just looking to do something different and just a change of pace. So I got my 2 kids are actually here tonight because my wife is going to be coaching this season at one of our locations, so she thought she'd join the meeting for once. Yeah, so just want to do something different, get out of the corporate world and do something where my kids can be a part of it and kind of give back to the community and get kids involved in sports. Just something always played sports growing up, so it's just nice to be back here and giving back to the community and seeing more kids come through playing sports. So we started our first season in 2014 at our North Phoenix Deer Valley location at Esperanza. That was winter 2014. We had about 150 kids. The league really didn't exist before that, and so over the years, the past 3.5, 4 years, a lot of marketing and just kind of growing the programs through word of mouth and putting on good programs. So we've been fortunate enough to have expanded to about 12 locations throughout the valley now. Over the summer, we picked up the Goodyear, Ahwatukee, Avondale locations out there. So we're running some programs over there now. It's nice to see families that are kind of moving back and forth throughout the valley. It's still the I-9 sports that they know and love, and now we can just service a bigger part of the valley. This last season was our biggest to date. We had about 1,700 kids amongst all the location, and this winter season's looking right about the same. So only one more location possibly we're going to be adding, and that's like in the Levine area, but otherwise we've kind of surrounded that. There's only one other franchise owner in the valley, and they're out in the Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler, and they're huge out there. They're one of the biggest in the network, so keep growing the programs. Okay, so a lot of questions we get, the first questions you usually get is, I got my roster. Raise your hand, everybody got their rosters? Should have got it? Cool. So one of the things, we always get is that question of, hey, I signed up to be an assistant coach, but I'm the only name on the roster. Our system doesn't really allow us to say assistant coach and coach on the rosters. So if you're the only coach on there and you sign up to be an assistant coach, you're still an assistant coach. We just actually this last season opened up the head coach option for coaches that have been with the program for a while, that they kind of know what they want to do. They have a good feeling of drills and things like that. So we've allowed those coaches to say, I can operate, run drills with my team, I'm good. But if you're an assistant coach, for all of our sports and all of our locations, we'll always have a staff member that will serve as your head coach. They'll have the practice plans for you in their mind. They'll go over the practice plans. We'll also be sending out the practice plans every week to you, so you're always going to know the material. I've really only had one season, one day out of the past 4 years that I had one instructor call out and I couldn't find a replacement. So it happens occasionally, but I wanted you to rest assured that we send out the practice plans. So please check your emails. Every Tuesday you'll get the practice plans. And it's basic stuff that we're teaching these kids. So, if you guys can read, put out some cones and, go over a drill, it's pretty straightforward stuff. So rest assured, if you're an assistant coach and you're the only one at the roster, we have our staff there. You can take a deep breath now. So this coaches meeting, we've combined our Desert Heights Prep Academy location on 35th and Union Hills with our Arrowhead. So it's kind of a representation of both. We're sort of combining, dividing, and conquering amongst the locations now, just to consolidate. So first we'll talk about Desert Heights. This is going to be our third season there. We started over the summer, 2016. We just finished the fall and now back in the winter. So still a smaller program. This is our only Sunday program out in this area that we're doing, the field sports of soccer, football. It's an indoor basketball location that we started in the summer that we've kept growing and growing every season. So it's a nice option if you wanted to do two sports, a Saturday and a Sunday. We always have that for you. You can try out different things throughout the season. But this season we have 6 teams of soccer, 3 different divisions. Flag football, we have just 2 teams in one division. And forgot to add it, but we're also doing cheerleading over there at that location as well. And yeah, basketball, 6 teams as well. Straight 7-week schedule, starting this Sunday, the 15th. And then the picture week is going to be on week 3, which is the 29th. So, and then as far as Arrowhead, that's still our biggest site in this area. This season, I think it's a little bit less than our fall season, but we still have 8 teams of t-ball, 16 teams of soccer. We have 10 teams of flag football this season, so that program's really growing. And 2 teams of cheerleading as well. So you can maybe see in the field setup, we usually normally run 1 football field. We're going to have 2 this season once our kind of bigger soccer teams convert. So we'll be running the 2 teams, I think, for the last time slots. The schedules will be published, I believe, tomorrow or Wednesday. You guys should all have your rosters, but so the teams that are varying times will be the divisions that have obviously more than 2 teams or 4 teams. So soccer and flag football, if you're in like a 7 and 9 division, your schedule will fluctuate each week. So it's very important that you guys are aware of that, as well as letting the parents know that, hey, it's not going to be the same time every week. I think at Arrowhead last season, we ran into the issue of parents not checking the schedule, showing up at the wrong time, and getting frustrated that they weren't playing. But the information is all available online on the schedule from your mobile app, on the website. So just very important that you communicate that to the parents if they check the schedules. Picture week this season for Arrowhead is going to be week 2. This will allow more time for the picture company to process the pictures and get them all out, hopefully before the final week of the season. So we'll be talking about pictures in just a little bit here. So what is I9 Sports? If you guys don't know about us, how are we different from other leagues out there? I9 Sports is basically I to the 9th power. That's how the founder of Frank Fumi came up with the name. It's essentially the 9 I's: imaginative, inspirational, instructional. He'll quiz me, but I forget about it right now. Innovative. So, you know, just really some good values, core values that set us apart and kind of create what the league is about. Otherwise, you know, we focus on fun. That honestly is probably the most important thing if you walk out of this meeting tonight, that we focus on fun in this league. It's not a crazy competitive league out there where you have, you know, 2 officials on the field and blowing the whistles and red carding. I mean, there's plenty of competitive leagues out there. So, you know, we really pride ourselves on getting the kids in sport, teaching them the sport, letting them have fun. You know, we do the buddy request, so we always honor the buddy request, which is always fun to play with friends every season. Coach requests, playing with the same coach. If you guys develop a relationship there, that's what we want. You know, we do medals and stamps for the 3 and 4-year-olds. Safety, you guys all been background checked. All of our staff is background checked. You can rest assured there's no issues on the field of that sort. We require the mouth guards for basketball, flag football, you know, shin guards for soccer. So we focus on safety. We have first aid kits available on the field, and then you know, convenience. You know, just the practice and game once a week on Saturday. There's not too many programs that allow that, and I know from a family with multiples, it's a lot easier bringing your kid to one place, same time, same place. You know, practice and game. You're not driving around throughout the valley. So again, that's another thing that kind of sets us apart, and we take pride in those different things. Occasionally, we might have a couple locations playing each other. Arrowhead and Desert Heights, you know, because they're Saturday and Sunday, that won't happen. So we don't have to worry about that there. The other thing is, you know, that we really take pride on is our parental pledge, and you guys all would have acknowledged that waiver, hopefully checked it off on it. Basically says, you know, we will refrain from the negative sideline behavior. It really is about the kids having fun. Nothing wrong with a parent yelling at the sideline, saying, cheering on their kids, high-fiving, scoring. That's all great stuff, but when you're getting upset, when you see the parents that are frustrated about scoring on the wrong goal for the little guys, or, you know, the ref making a bad call, guys, remember it's about having fun. It's not about the score, really, and, you know, that's what the program's about. So there's going to be 2 emails. The theme of this meeting is check your emails. Hopefully you're all getting them, but same thing with the parents. We send a lot of emails out, and that's just because we like to over-communicate. So the 2 emails that you're going to get each week starting next week, essentially, is our bi-weekly practice plan, and that email to the right of me, to your left, is always going to have what the sportsmanship value for the following week or for that week is, so you guys can download it. You know, like the first week I think is going to be listening for both groups this time, so you guys can read about it. And this is something that, you know, the sportsmanship value, it's not only applied at the field, but it's also at home. You know, these values are always good, and we can always just start thinking about what we want to say, and you know, after that Saturday's over, these values carry on into the home. And then it will have the rule books for all of our sports, so you guys can get familiar with that stuff. Again, it's not super critical that you know and memorize and have it all detailed, but just to give you an outline of things that we're doing, as well as the practice plan. So we used to send these out every week. We wanted to cut down on the amount of emails, so we'll do this every 2 weeks on the practice plan. So it'll be a bi-weekly practice plan. It'll have a bunch of different drills for that particular sport. So if you're a head coach and you want different ideas for drills, we have that for you. Some stretching stuff as well. Otherwise, that's roughly what our instructors will be following. It may divert from that here and there, but for the most part, that's what we're going to be following. And then the email to the right is our weekly newsletter. This is something we've been continuing on since the very first season that we started. You know, we have a site manager at each location that goes around taking pictures. You guys are out on the field coaching, so you're not really getting the best shots and whatnot. So we have our site manager try to touch every field, you know, and you know, get a good bunch of pictures. If I'm out on the fields, I'm always with my camera as well, trying to get pictures out there as well. But we'll always have the pictures. We post them to our private SmugMug account. You guys from there can download them, share with friends, post on Facebook, do what you want. But we just wanted to provide that, you know, out of a courtesy, just to get you some more pictures. Always talk about the sportsmanship value topic, and you know, any news about picture day, things like that, things that you guys should know about, we'll put it in the newsletter. We had a complaint about some parking at Arrowhead last time. You know, I think the law is, I think you have to be 15 feet away from the stop sign, so if you guys see the stop sign, don't ride right up to it. If you guys can give me some space, things like that, we'll put in the newsletter if we get some complaints from the city or whatnot, just so you're aware of it. And also the lost and found, if you guys pick up anything on the field, we always have a lost and found at our canopy. Just drop off that item. We'll always put the lost and found item, we take a picture of it every day after the game, and then we'll send that as well, so you can identify the missing objects. All right, so now we'll get into the season overview and what to expect. Opening day is really the biggest day of the season, especially for a lot of the new coaches out there. We've kind of got to dial down to a science now after doing it for a while, so we try to go over it in the coaches meeting so you guys are prepared, you know what to do. There's not a lot of questions, there's not a lot of people showing up at the tent asking where to go. So this is my show and tell opportunity. So when you guys get to the field, we ask that you arrive about a half an hour prior to on opening day, and that's so you guys can put on your coach's shirt, just get familiar with it, get acquainted with the field. But the first thing, you guys don't need to stop by our tent. Look for your sports sign. As you can see in this picture, we'll have these posted on stakes. Just find your sports sign, and in front of the sports sign, you're always going to find the little yard signs in the ground that will have your team number on it. So that's the first thing you can do. Don't have to check in, just go right to your sign, and you know, you'll stand behind the sign. Behind the sign, you'll see our coaches' bags, and inside the coaches' bags will be the following. The first thing, so the coach's bag, you know, with a lot of teams out there, especially Arrowhead, double check your bag to make sure the number is the correct one on your team. Sometimes we gotta mix them up, so before you start digging in there and getting all worried, just make sure the number matches, and then we'll be in good shape. So first thing you're going to want to do when you go in your coach's bag, if you don't already have your shirt, you want to pull out your coach's shirt. Obviously it's the winter season. If you guys want to layer up like I'm doing with a long sleeve shirt or throwing over a sweatshirt or something like that, that's appreciated. We have restroom access, so you guys can also allow yourself time if you want to go to the restroom and change, but most of the time we'll be throwing this up, especially in the morning when it's still a little bit chilly out. So you'll find your coach's shirt, put that on, and then you should have a lanyard as well. If you are a repeat coach, you obviously won't have a coach's shirt in there because we'll assume you already have one and you're wearing it tonight. Thumbs up. As far as the name tags, if you guys are repeat coaches, we will have just a new insert for your name tag lanyard, so bring your lanyard and we'll just give you a new insert for it. If you guys lost that, don't worry, we got plenty of them, so just come by and we'll make you guys a new one, or give you a new lanyard. So coach's shirt's on, lanyard's on, and then really the next thing you want to do is pull out your roster. You don't really, all the jerseys are going to be there, we'll talk about in a second, but really for now you just want to pull out your roster, look at it, see how many kids. We'll always have the latest roster in your coach's bags. You'll be able to find them online as well as after we publish them, I think tomorrow or Thursday. But always the latest will be in the bag. On your roster, you'll notice it'll say what field number you're on, as well as what color jersey you are. You don't have to worry about the color of the jersey because we'll have those flipped to the appropriate color for you. So either navy or white, they'll be flipped for you. And then one thing to do if you guys do arrive early and you have some time to kill, what we like to do is you guys will have a bunch of name tags there as well. Go ahead and lay out your jerseys and just put on the name tags. That way when, you know, Cole comes over, you know, his name tag's on, he's ready to go, and just throws that on. You can just save a lot of time there. As far as the name tags go, we recommend putting them, you know, on the top right, just like that. So if you guys again wanted to get there early, lay out all the jerseys, put on the name tags. The sizes of the jerseys are written down right on the roster, so you guys can just match up the size, put the name tag on, and then just either fold them back in the bag or just lay them out. That's fine, and they'll be ready to go. If you are a T-ball player, you'll have a bunch of hats in your bag as well. We recommend instead of the coach's shirts on that, go ahead and just throw it on the hat. That way, these things, when you're putting on your batting helmets and whatnot, they get left behind, so name tags are on them, we're good to go. You can leave those on the whole season, so they won't get lost. Otherwise, you know, there's a good spot in here just to write the name in with a Sharpie on the tag. And then if you're a flag football player, we're actually considering maybe changing this up, so this might be the first season. We used to put all of the flag belts in the bags, but I'm actually thinking about changing that up, and so we may just have 2 buckets of the flag belts that you can grab, because essentially we have the same field. So instead of, you know, having to worry about those in the bags, we'll just probably have like 2 buckets, one with the white belts, one with the black belts. You guys can just grab those. Maybe we'll put them in the bag still, but then, you know, afterwards we'll just have the buckets. You guys can just dump them off, and we'll just make sure we'll have them every week for you. That way you guys don't have to hold on to the coach's bags. We'll collect those at the end of every week for you. I think that's all. Well, actually, not that all. The other thing you guys are going to have in your bags this season, as I mentioned, picture week is week 2. So you guys all will have a picture packet in your coach's bag. So another great thing to do while you're checking in the kids on your roster. There will be a pen in the bags too, I forgot to mention. So you guys can cross off there. You can write down, what I like to recommend is writing the jersey number down to the name, so that, you know, week 2, when the name tags come off, you have a reference for number 12, that's Jeremy, number 13. So the picture packets, you'll have, there's a coach form in here, and so you'll fill out the coach form. If there's 2 coaches on your team, I think there's a spot for both of them, as well as the player packets. So siblings, every player will need a packet. So siblings will each need a individual packet. We'll talk about picture day more in a second, but just if you guys can remember these packets, get them out, because picture day is coming right up on week 2 for us. Cool. So you've got your coach's shirt on, you've maybe put your name tags on your jerseys, you're starting to check kids in. As kids start getting there, just have them line up behind you or your team sign. You know, make sure they're not on the playground. Just keep them tight by you, because when you have about 75% of the kids there, we recommend then heading out to your field, which will be written on there. And that's when you guys can start distributing the jerseys. When we're doing it around those team signs, it gets crowded. You know, the coaches are kind of crouching down. It's people can't find the team signs or the coach, so let's just check people in when they get there and leave the jersey, you know, distribution for on the field. So the kind of the next things to do then are when you have 75% of the kids, head out to your field, have the kids sit down, give them their jerseys, and the most important thing of the day really is coming up with cool team names, because no one likes to be called the TO2s, I can promise you, so they're going to want to call the Dragon Ninja Warriors, the Lightning Snakes, all kinds of fun stuff like that. So have them come up with 2 team names, use your pen, write on the roster, and by the end of the day, if you guys can just report those names back to us at the canopy, we'll write them down, we'll update the rosters online, so the TO2s will never be seen again. So while you guys are distributing jerseys and putting on name tags, our instructors will be gathering all the parents by our sports side, giving a brief introduction about the program, introducing themselves so they know kind of coaching experience and whatnot, and just a mini version of this meeting, just kind of season overview stuff. So they'll be doing all that, and then they'll meet you guys back at your fields, and you can start the practices. All right. Cool. So week 2, other than picture week, which we'll talk about in a second, there's just a few other things to remind you guys about for week 2. The first thing is come 15 minutes early, starting weeks 2 through 7. And the reason for that is to, as this gentleman is doing here, checking in at our canopy with the site manager, so you can pick up your sportsmanship medals. So the sportsmanship medals, our lead instructor we'll talk about here in a second, but you know, the instructors will pretty much be going over the sportsmanship lessons with the kids, but we're going to have you guys there, and you guys can chime in. But your main role as assistant coach or coach is to keep an eye on those kids for demonstrating those good sportsmanship values, and picking up your medals each week and awarding those medals to the kid. So, you know, usually how it goes is have the practice, have the game, we're reinforcing our sportsmanship topics. At the end of the game, we usually have the kids all line up, shake hands. We do a team, you know, a break, and then you guys can award the medals. Kind of sit them down, talk about the post-game wrap-up, how they did, and award the medals. Once you guys have awarded the medal, you guys can send them back to our canopy, and we'll take a picture with our new and improved sportsmanship award winner signs, and we'll get those pictures, you know, posted up there, and you guys can share those. A lot of fun things for those pictures. But we'll help you guys track the kids that have gotten the medals. If you guys send them back to our canopy, because we have a little matrix, we'll just check them off. That way, when you check in and it's week 4 or 5, and you don't remember who you've given the medal to, instead of just giving the medal to some person that you think may have got it, just ask us, and we'll tell you, yep, we got, you know, 3 medals left. You want to give out 1 or 2 today, and that way you know the players to give them out to. The worst thing that could possibly happen is, who needs a medal today? That's just not the right thing that we want to talk about. So it's kind of like knowing who we're going to give it to in our minds, and, you know, some weeks, you know, it may be about paying attention, and, you know, little Billy hasn't gotten that medal yet, and he still is not paying attention at all. But everyone in our program is going to get one by the, even has to wait till week 7 or week 6, the last opportunity to get the medal. He's still not doing it. You guys don't have to lie and say you did a great job paying attention. You can just say, today's topic was paying attention, and Billy's going to get the medal today. So you didn't lie. It's just he's getting the medal. Cool. So yeah, it's going to start off by essentially, so you guys will check in and get the medals. If you want to talk to the instructor about the practice plans or whatnot, you know, that's a good opportunity for people. Then, you know, parents are going to arrive a few minutes before the practice time. You can start greeting them. When the practice starts, we usually try to give them maybe a 2 to 3 minute buffer time. Instructors are going to blow the whistle. We'll gather all the kids up, and that's when we'll start going over that sportsmanship topic. Again, it's going to be led by the instructor, but you guys can chime in if you have any examples or want to ask a question or engage some of the kids. You're more than welcome to do so, and it's recommended to do that as well. And again, you know, post-game stuff, line up, shake hands, you know, team break, award the medal, send it back to the canopy, and then it's snack time after that. So as far as snacks, we'll talk about that a little bit more, but you guys can all sign up for snacks online. A lot of times, you know, we kind of recommend the coaches, you guys bring the snacks the first week, and that way at the end of the game, you know, you can say, parents, I brought the snacks this week, but please go online. You'll see the weeks. Everyone can sign up for a week. If no one's doing that, just, you know, maybe just you can assign snacks as you want as well. But it's better if they sign up on their own and bring snacks for the team. When you guys do get the snacks, it'll say, they'll give you an email confirmation the day before to remind you. It'll tell you how many kids on the team, but obviously you'll know because you'll have the rosters. And yeah. So picture day week 2. We're still using Portrait Effects. They're a great company. We have the system pretty much dialed down. We'll be sending out the picture schedules the week before the pictures, so, you know, the Monday of, we'll send out the schedule. Again, double check the schedule of the pictures because it's going to be different than your scheduled time. Obviously, with, you know, 300-400 people coming at one site, you're going to have to start early in order to, you know, start the practices or not impede on it. So we typically, if you guys are coming in for pictures, say 8 o'clock for T-ball, we might start the practice at 8:30, so you're not waiting all the way till 9 o'clock to start. So on the schedule, we'll have a revised field time, and that's our hope. If everyone kind of shows up and gets the pictures, you know, we'll start the practice a little bit early, so you're not all waiting around there. But as I mentioned, the packets you guys will hand out on opening day, so hopefully everyone will get that. There will be a master link that will be sent out in the email as well. You guys can also purchase pictures online. It's a lot easier that way. You just print out your confirmation, bring them to the tent. You don't have to worry about the paperwork. It's already there. So as you can see here, all the kids are shot on a green screen. There is no team photo per se. Everyone's shot individually, and then at the end, it makes up a nice, you know, digital composite photo of all the teams. So really high quality stuff. You know, if you guys have been with us before and you've done pictures, why not try like a novelty item, a calendar or something like that, a mug. They have all kinds of cool options for that. But you know, as you can see in the picture, really good quality. They superimpose like the sport, you know, in there, and sorry, and as you can see, no one's kind of looking the wrong direction. No one's picking the nose. No one's closing their eyes. They make the best the photos because everyone's looking, wearing the same jersey colors, etc. If you guys are not going to be there for week 2, or anyone from any of your parents are not going to be there in week 2, along with that picture email that we send out, it'll have some alternative sites that you can take pictures at. So let parents know that they can still be in the team photo. They can just take their picture on week 3 at, say, our Desert Heights Prep Academy location on Sunday, and you know, we'll still make the team photo. All right. So that's picture week. Pictures are usually delivered, you know, on or before week 8. So we still have some photos from last season. We'll be sending out an email. If you haven't picked them up, we'll be bringing them to the field again. Yeah. So that's week 2. Week 3 is a normal practicing game. Week 4, also a normal practicing game. But that week, between week 3 and 4, I can't remember exactly, we're going to get our survey from our corporate office. And just to touch on these quickly, we take the surveys very serious. I mean, I try to have the best organized program as I can, but I'm only as good as the feedback that we get, and I can only improve the things that I know about. So, you know, obviously we're looking for 9 to 10 from everybody. We want to know we're doing a great job. You know, our staff is kind of given bonuses at the end of the season based on how well they're doing and stuff like that. So if you guys see something, you hear your parent complaint ear go up, and there's something, let us know about it so we can fix it. You know, if there's too many kids on the field, or whatever the case may be, that dog won't stop barking, or there is a dog and you have a no dog policy, things like that, just let us know about it so we can take care of it. And you know, we like to say, don't wait till week 4 till the surveys come out to get the feedback. Let the parents know, or let us know right away, week 1, week 2, so we can fix it right away. And that way, you know, our surveys will be doing good. Our corporate office looks at these things just to kind of get a pulse on how all the individual franchises are doing. But you know, we pride ourselves in listening to the feedback, responding to it as fast as we can, and taking care of it so it's improved on the next season. Okay, week 5, standard practicing game. Week 6, it's all about you guys. That's Coach Appreciation Day. So on this day, you know, you'll get an email in your inbox on Saturday. You know, as a token of our appreciation, you guys, every season you coach with us, we give you guys a $10 off, up to $50 for every season. So a lot of you guys are capped out at $50, but we're glad to have you back. So thank you guys, the repeat coaches, really appreciate it. It makes a great program because you know what you're doing. You can help other coaches out there. We can't thank you enough. The league wouldn't run without you guys, and really we appreciate it. So this one we sent out an email to the parents, just letting them know, hey, Coach Appreciation Day. You know, parents might bring cookies or gift cards or whatnot. No one's expected to do anything, but we just say a simple handshake, thanking you guys for your time. You could be sitting back in a lawn chair, you know, playing on your phone as well, but you're out there with the kids, teaching them sportsmanship, and we applaud that, so thank you so much. Okay, week 7, before week 7, we'll be back here at Peter Piper. Let's say my new one. This one will be on the 23rd. Sorry, Desert Heights is the 23rd. This is that following Thursday. I think it's March 3rd or something like that. So you guys all should have got your information tonight. We don't need these tonight, but if you wanted to fill it out, the pizza party, you know, we used to do them on Saturdays, but we found out with the birthday party crowd on Saturdays, especially at this location here, the line's out the door and you're waiting an hour for the pizza. So, you know, we try to do it on a Thursday night. You can bring out the family, obviously, and you know, these forms, if you guys wanted to RSVP, we recommend it. That way we can reserve a table for your team. You guys will have an ice cream eating contest for your team. It's just a nice way to end the season for the team. Before that, usually the week prior, I think a week 5, you guys will get a coach's packet like this, where it talks about the letter. And so inside those coach packets, there'll be a flyer that we'll have you hand out that week to all the parents, just to remind them. That's also a good opportunity for you guys to say, hey guys, we're hosting the coaches, the end of season party. I'm planning on going. Does anyone want to chip in? Who's going? You know, get a roll call of who's going. That way, if you guys want to go in on the 3 extra large pizza deal, it's like a couple bucks each as everyone pitches in on. you guys are not responsible for purchasing pizzas. This is a fundraiser. We use that money to go back into our scholarship program to get more kids playing sports. So, you know, there is no free pizza. Sometimes that was confusing, but you know, again, we make it easy if people want to come in, pay a couple bucks. You guys will get 3 extra large pizzas. There's a token deal as well. All the kids can have tokens and have fun. No matter what, there also will be these MVP awards that you might have got tonight or saw. But these ones, take them home on week 5, fill them out, and that way you can hand them back out on that the following Saturday. So even if you guys don't plan to come to the meeting, all the kids will at least get these on Saturday. So on that following Thursday, they can have the 10 tokens for it. But it's a lot of fun. Again, last season was the first time we did it. Peter Piper's been a great host for those. They do some fun games like the ice cream moving contest, the dough stretchy contest, things like that. So aside from the token games, there is some other engaging activities that they put on for the kids as well. So that's the Peter Piper party. And then week 7, that's the final week. As you guys would have saw in that video, we have all the parents kind of form a big tunnel, and the kids run through our breakaway banner to a little Eye of the Tiger to end the last game practice of the season. That week, instead of checking in and getting your sportsmanship medals, you'll come and get your participation medal. So there'll be a bag for each player on the team. It's important that by week 6, you guys have given a sportsmanship medal to all the players on the team, so that by week 7, we're just awarding these out. If someone missed week 6 and didn't get that last medal, you can award that sportsmanship as well. Just remind us that you still have one player that needs one of those, because we'll assume otherwise that everyone's got them. But yeah, check in early, 15 minutes. And then as far as the end of the game, you know, there's no like ceremony. We ask you guys just to sit the kids down, call them up one by one. Jimmy did a great job this season. Let's give a round of applause. Award Jimmy the medal, have him sit down, go through the whole team, and then you guys can break. But hopefully you guys have come to the party before. Everyone's kind of exchanged numbers if they want to do it the next season, and we'll end it that way. So that's it for this season, and I'm going to hand it over to my man Will here, who's our lead instructor, to go over some of the coach expectations. Check. How we doing? Oh my God, let's try again. How we doing? Good. There we go. Thank you guys very much for coming out. We really appreciate all the new faces and all the old ones especially, man. It shows that we're doing the right thing and moving in the right direction with all of this. And again, we could not do it without you. So really appreciate you all coming out here and volunteering your time. Starting with the volunteer coach expectations. The theme of this whole meeting really is, like Aaron said, just over communication. We want to make sure everybody's on the same page, everybody knows what to expect, everybody knows what not to expect, kind of thing. So we all just kind of have an idea what's going on, and we found that it eliminates a lot of problems, that we avoid a lot of issues early on, and prevent a lot of things too. So really we want to focus on over communication with our staff, with our coaches, with our parents, and the kids, everybody, just so we all kind of get a feel for one another. Firstly, we want to make sure that, as we said, coaches would have our red shirts on if you want to see them, if you don't know what they look like. Really big on having those every single week, no matter what. Okay, make sure you have your shirt. It just shows that we're on the same team. Also, it gives the parents whose kids you're in charge of visual aid as far as where they want to go. If they have a legitimate question about the game or something like that, that may not be an instructor thing. If I'm not picking the playing time, I might not be able to answer why the kid didn't play. Coach may have an idea or anything like that, but we would just want to make sure the parents know who's actually volunteered out there and who's able to be there. Of course, there's times where, I know, laundry day happens. Anything can happen, you know, you forget it, oh well, you know, but just try your best to bring it, and it really makes a difference, and it really seems cool. Pictures look cooler and everything with it, if we can make sure that happens. Staff will do the same thing. We should all have our stuff on too, so we all look like we're on the same page. Also, let us know if you're not going to make it. That's huge. If you can't be there for your team or just for the class in general, it's not a bad thing, but it really is weird if we don't have any coverage at all, or if it's a surprise, like a last minute no show, no call or anything like that. Even if you're just volunteering, I know you're not being paid for it, but it messes the program up. If the kids don't have anybody there, if the instructor has to cover randomly or something like that. So just let us know so we can be prepared. And again, we're all on the same page. It's not a problem.
People miss days, it's cool. Just let us know when it's coming up if you can avoid it. All right, again, emergencies happen, we all have kids, people get sick, people get hurt, things like that, whatever. But please, if you can, do your best to let us know. Also, with the over explanation with the kids, man, we want to make sure that we are good models as far as the sportsmanship values and the things we're trying to promote go. Again, we're a non-competitive league, so we're not about putting anybody down or making anybody else feel bad, because a lot of the kids we have are beginners. This is their first time out, maybe seeing a ball or a court or any kind of experience like that. So the last thing we want to do is give them a really negative experience so that they don't want to play sport anymore. We don't ever know who we're coaching or meeting or influencing, so we want to try to make sure everybody can have a good experience here, even if it's your first time playing sport or first time being coached by anybody. So we want to make sure we, as the coaches and the staff, set a good example as far as all the sportsmanship values that we go through. And as far as those go, sportsmanship values, we start a new one every week after the second week, and we'll go through the whole 7-week process where the instructor will literally overview a different quality every week, taking turns, being a good buddy, the golden rule, like treat people how you want to be treated, and we kind of discuss it with the kids, try to get some feedback and some interaction from them with it, and then go through the class. Afterward, that's when the coaches then will hand the medal out to one of the kids, hopefully somebody that deserves it, if you can, and kind of give them a system where they rewarded for doing good things, and we encourage that behavior. And again, it's not about the medal, the actual piece of hardware, it's about the value, because that translates to everywhere, all the stuff we talk about. It really is a big deal, and they can learn it in a fun way, so it really helps out a lot. For the coaches, make sure your playing time is even for your sport, no matter what it is. Baseball's a little easier, everybody gets a bat once and then field at the same time, but for basketball and other sports where you may have rotations or you may have kids on the bench, remember that this is a non-competitive league, and we want to make sure that more than anything, the kids get reps. They have to be on the court. Even if they're not the best kids they gotta play so that they can become something. And they can also enjoy it, and they can get better if they don't get a chance to practice in the game situations that we put them in. So please, please, please make sure the playing time is as equal as possible. Instructors will help with that. They usually have timers where at most of our locations that we have, and we can work with you if you don't have a rotation of your own. But we usually go if we can either a quarter way through the quarter or maybe halfway through the quarter, but just something so it's consistent, so the kids know what to expect again, and we know what to expect, and we can make sure as many people as possible get the chance to play for as long as they kind of can in the little short time that we have, usually only 30-45 minute games. So as many reps as we can get the kids, the better off everyone is, happier parents are, happier the kids are. Lastly, for our fields too, we want to make sure we keep them as clean as humanly possible. Not to say you have to police the field and literally mop the floor, but if you walk past a empty cup or something, or you see something you can help out with, pick it up for the field's sake, and just because again, they're kids watching. We want to be models, and once they see us do it, they then know it's okay as well, and they'll start helping clean up just by seeing you do it. But you would have never thought of it had they not seen an adult take the initiative first. So we want to be that good model for everybody that's around, and we don't own any of these places really. We want to keep them as clean as possible so they let us come back and continue to put on good programs. There we go. Parent communication. So, another thing we want our coaches to be able to do is reach out to your parents. Don't be afraid to contact them. It doesn't have to be anything too personal or in-depth, but just before the season starts, like if we start this Saturday, try to have reached out to your parents by like that Wednesday. So if you can and you got your rosters, just email them, say, hey, I'm coach, insert name here. And just wanted to let you know I'll be coaching your kid this season. Happy to be here. Boom, that's it. I sent it to 2, and that gives them a reference too if they want to contact you and let you know Timmy won't be at the practice or something like that. Let them know you're that resource for them so that they know who they can come to as far as any questions like that. Anything other than that, you can always direct to the instructors. That's what we're there for anything outside of your own team's organization. As far as that goes too, make sure your parents sign up for snacks. We have lists that we send out that'll have numbers on them, and just have them be proactive and pick what week they want early, so that there isn't a week where the kids don't have anything, and I've seen it before. There may be a fumble with the snacks, and then this group gets snacks, this team, because someone's prepared, and then the whole other team has nothing. And it ends up being a situation. We had a couple of times where kids shared, which was really cool. But at the same time, we'd rather have the teams have their own groups and get together and have snack together so they can bond like that, man, which is really cool. Also, another good way to reach out to your parents is to recognize greatness. You know, if the kid's doing well, if they got the sportsmanship medal, don't be afraid to email and say, hey, it's been a pleasure having him in the group. He's done really well, really like the way he did this and that. Try to pick a highlight if you can. And just give them a good feeling about the way you interact with the kid. Let them know you've actually been involved with it. Prior to our Peter Piper pizza party we have at the end of every season, you want to have reached out and let them know when it is, where it's going to be if they don't know already, and if you're not going to be there. If the coach is not going to be there, it's really weird if all the kids show up, okay? Unless they already know it's going to be the case. And then we can kind of plan around it, maybe have them hub up with the coach, another coach in another class. It may not be their coach, but it's still somebody they're familiar with. In the class, they'll be familiar with anyway, but it's just a little more organized if, again, we know in advance, and we can over-communicate and let each other know about that. So if you're going to miss again, no problem, just kind of let us know. Please, please, please. And a few of the quick rules. If you haven't coached with us before or play with us, we have a pretty easy setup for our games. Soccer for our Pee-wees and Super Pee-wees, the youngest ones we have, they'll go 4 6-minute quarters, timed by either the instructor or if it's indoor, we'll have a actual clock that'll run it. 4 6-minute quarters, where again, we're trying to rotate the kids as much as we possibly can to get everybody on the field. Soccer's a little easier, but make sure you get as much playing time as you can. 5-on-5 is all we do, and we don't use a goalkeeper for the young kids because it gives them a reason to stand around and do nothing. Half of them play like Spider-Man in the net, and then they end up getting stuck or playing with it. So we don't do goalkeepers. If you have to, what I've done in the past is I've made like a goalie box with cones where no one can go in to kind of simulate the idea where they have to kind of stay away or the ball will be stopped here if it goes in. But no goalies, just 5-on-5, make them run. Make them have as much fun as they can. Juniors and seniors, 4 8-minute quarters. With 5-on-5 again, but they will have goalkeepers out there because we're starting to teach more of the positions and more of the skills of the game. So they'll have a better idea, and then with the goalkeepers there, we make sure we just rotate them so one kid doesn't end up standing in the goal literally for 35 or 40 minutes or something like that. And yeah, so to the seniors, similar thing, same thing, 5-on-5, 4 8-minute quarters. Make sure you rotate the goalkeepers. 1 coach on the field at a time is what we desire. I desire 0 coaches on the field. If you can, I would like for you to coach from the sideline, but it's needed, understood, and it's encouraged too. If it's going to help the class and move along smoothly and help the kids learn, more power to us, man. Let us get out there and let's actually show the kids what we mean. Let's be involved and active, but we also want to try to build independence in all of these sports. We don't want to have to hold someone's hand the entire time in something like this because it's not teaching, again, how the sport's going to go. No one's going to hold your hand when you actually go try to play it, or no one's going to have to be out there actually telling you. We want to teach them to be able to think in the games, just like we're kind of trying to teach and go through during the practices. Offside is only for the senior division. It really doesn't come up. Usually the ball gets kicked really hard anyway, all the way through, so it won't matter. And this is for every sport, actually. We only have it for soccer, but please, no tackling, grabbing, tripping, pushing, anything overly violent. Again, non-competitive league, you're allowed to be aggressive. At the same time, we want to be under control. We don't need anyone getting hurt in a situation like this, from a place like this. It's just a game. And I make the kids say it all the time. We just want to enjoy ourselves. We just want to have fun, okay? So nobody should get hurt. No pushing, kicking, or violence. And no penalty kicks at all. We usually just turn the ball over if there's a penalty. Other team will get it. T-ball. T-ball. We have T-ball and coach pitch baseball. The T-ball is our little, so the kids that won't be getting the ball thrown at them will be out there. They have a 30-minute practice, 30-minute game. It's really simple. Everybody plays. All the kids bat. All the kids field. There's usually not a bunch of kids. Even if there is, there's enough positions to teach and give everybody kind of a job to do. And they're still learning the field anyway, so no matter how many kids you put out there, the ball's going to fly if it rolls out of the field. It gives them a chance to get a bunch of cutoffs too. But no score stats. Again, we're non-competitive league, so that's not what we're focused on. We're focused on whatever skill or drill or concept we're working on that week in practice is what you want to cue. No one worries about the score. If a kid asks you about the score, tell them it doesn't matter. Literally say it doesn't matter. Move on to the next play. I'll say it all the time. Coaches and parents, again, can be on the field, but we want to encourage independence. Let them know that it's okay to be out there alone, and again, this is how you're going to have to play the sport anyway, so encourage them to want to get out there and try it on their own, and then run back into the stands and tell their parents about how good they did, or in general. But get them used to being out there alone, and no matter what the sport is. Once again, everyone bats. Last batter, we hit a grand slam, so as they bat, you bat, go one base at a time, and you move through the bases so that the bases end up loaded all the inning, and the last batter ends up hitting a grand slam. Which is really cool. All the kids have fun with it. Make sure you rotate the batters so the same kid doesn't hit a grand slam every time. It's easy to forget, so I mentioned it right now. So rotate the batters, and all defensive players, we make them stand at least 10 feet. We'll mark a yellow spot, like line of cones, 10 feet away, so that they're not literally jumping on the tee. And some kids don't hit it very far. You're not jumping right on the ball as it's getting hit off the tee, and you're not getting hit with a bat, because bats will be thrown at that level for sure. For our coach pitch group, it's a little bit different, but not very. All kids still play the whole game. We still bat and rotate the same way, so everybody gets the bat. We had a grand slam at the end. The game's a little bit longer because they're a little bit better conditioned since they're a little bit older. But same concept for our pitches. We have overhand. Pitches are what we prefer. If it absolutely has to happen, which I don't think it should, but you can underhand it. But we encourage, please, please, please try to show them again how the game's gonna be played. Give me an idea how it looks for a ball coming at them. For me, when I pitch to them, I actually try to hit the bat. Literally try to hit their bat because they're still working on the hand-eye thing. So do your best to try to get them that hit. If you can't, limit it, please, and I'll say it again at the end, but limit it to 3 to 5 pitches at the most. At the most. After that, just grab the tee, put it on the tee, and let them hit off the tee. They still get to hit. They still get on base. Nobody gets out. But we've given them that opportunity to kind of get the chance to get some reps in with swinging and their stance. We can cue a lot of different things we can cue at that time with that bat. But we got to make sure we keep it moving because we have other kids that also want the opportunity and deserve it too. And we got to get as many reps as we can out there. We don't keep the scores or stats or outs or anything like that. Or we don't keep the scores or stats. But if, and this is an asterisk by it in my notes, but if we get a group that's advanced enough, we'll start to teach them about outs. And even then, you don't have to necessarily call them out. I can tell you about how you would have been out when we throw the ball and meet you to the base and let you still run through the same way. But we want to start explaining it at this level at least about how the outs work and how you need to try to get the ball to a base before a guy. And if you start implementing anything like that, that's awesome. Awesome stuff at that level, man, if you can add it. But it doesn't always happen. Again, a lot of the players and athletes we get here are usually beginners. So we usually end up focusing a lot on the basics, like the most basics part of the sports. Like running around the bases, literally. Like they have to learn which base is first, which is second, which is third. So you may not even make it to the outs part in 7 weeks. It's still a short amount of time. But if you can, awesome stuff. And there we go, basketball. So, my favorite sport. We don't do jump balls for our peewees or junior divisions, just the seniors. Instead, we do rock, paper, scissors for those guys. It's just easier, and it's a little bit more safe. They may not be as coordinated at that time. So we give them a chance to still get the feel for meeting up and deciding the ball, but it's in a fun way. But we only jump ball for the beginning of the game, no matter what level it is. After that, we'll go ahead and rock, paper, scissors every time there's a dead ball, just to make the game continue to go and so we don't have to waste much time. And again, safety reasons, it goes faster. The kids love it actually. They'll go crazy trying to get the chance to be the one to do it. But we rock, paper, scissors for it, jump ball. Probably the most important thing in basketball is going to be movement violations, especially at the younger and intermediate level. Is going to happen. With our littles, we don't necessarily turn the ball over for traveling. We may blow the whistle, especially if it's excessive. If the kid's running around like it's football, then I blow. Yeah, you got to blow the whistle. Blow the whistle, let them know, and explain it to the class about how we have to dribble the ball. Literally, there's no option not to. There's no level of basketball where you're allowed to run with it. So we have to start as early as possible in explaining that. Even if they can't all the way do it, the drills help a lot. They end up at least being able to dribble down the court by the end of 7 weeks. But still, we want to influence them and really encourage them to, one, keep dribbling the ball, don't pick it up, and more important than that, pass the ball. You don't have to over dribble it. You have teammates. Give the ball up, especially if you pick it up and you get yourself stuck somewhere. So really encourage the losing of the traveling and double dribbling. Don't let them do it. If you're the coach, talk to your players in private. We're going to encourage the instructors to do the exact same thing in the middle of the classes. It's going to be a big deal, just in general, because you got to teach them how to play real basketball, and it can't happen if they're allowed to run around the court like that. And they don't develop the real skill. of the game. So as much as humanly possible, encourage traveling and double dribbling and disappear in the younger groups. The seniors I've got very little patience for. First week, maybe two, probably the first 2 weeks. First 2 weeks I give some warnings out. After that, you have to turn the ball over. We can't allow kids that old to run around the court with the ball without being penalized, and they have to see what actually happens. Again, they're a little older, more coordinated, they should be able to pick it up a little bit faster. And even if, again, we're still beginners, that's something you have to learn. That's the first stage of basketball. Moving with the ball and passing it to your teammates. So encourage good passes, and also encourage maintaining your dribble if you can. We do have now too, we added that the juniors and seniors shoot foul shots. It's really cool time to be able to teach boxing out. Also, you get a form shoot kind of situation, as well as a time where you can actually add real points, where a kid can get a good shot at the basket without having a ton of pressure as far as people in front of him, and they can add to the game in a real way, and they feel great about it. For our younger group, the juniors, you can actually move the line if they can't make it from the actual free throw line. There's a couple of lines you can use, but anywhere it goes, just be consistent. Set it up so that everyone knows where the foul shots will come from, and just after that, play like a normal game. Flag football, pockets are really big. We had an injury a couple seasons ago. Had pockets on a takedown, kid dislocates a finger or breaks a finger. It doesn't have to happen. So we make sure everybody, the site managers, if you're a football coach, site managers will have the tape at the desk with them if you need it. Tape your pockets down right away as soon as you get to the field. First thing you do, pick up your sportsmanship medal, have your pockets taped. Remind the players, if they don't have them taped, send them to the canopy. They cannot play until they have it. Make sure they know. Same thing with the mouth guards or any of the other equipment we require. We have to have it happen if we're going to get out on the field. Blitzing, we have a marker that we'll have, a beanbag that instructor will have down for the mark for the blitzer is. They can't blitz if they are above that area, so you have to be at the marker in order if you're going to rush for the quarterback. For the Pee-wees, it's 7 yards. Seniors and juniors, it'll be 10, since they're a little bit faster. The goal is to make it so that the game isn't dominated by a blitzing person. Also, though, we want to teach that is a part of the game, so you have to sometimes act under pressure. With this one, we are allowed to move with the quarterback if they're being pursued, only if they're being pursued. So you can't hike it, pull it down, take off like Mike Vick. You must be avoiding someone trying to get your flag. Otherwise, you have to stay there and make a decision. And coaches, we can do our part there too. Teach the kids to look up. This is what we're here for. We got to tell them we have to look for somebody. Blitzing isn't unfair because you're leaving somebody open every single time. Coaches have to see that and say, okay, hey, this guy, they're going to send 11 people at us. There are 11 people open. Get head up and pass to this guy quick. Teach them how to play the game. That's a part of it. So we want them to learn it as much as possible. After the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, however, so if they pull it down, they're handing it off to a running back, everybody can come after that. So there's no limit after you hand it off to a running back or once the quarterback turns into a running back. After they cross, everybody's allowed to go after the flag after that point, and game runs as normal. Teams may blitz as many people as they wish to. So again, you can send the house if you want, but in my opinion, it's not wise. A good coach is going to see that and say, hey, switch it up. Somebody will catch it. One of the 11 guys, no one's covering. All right, so make sure you're on top of that. Rushers, maybe 7 yards back. Pass interference, calls like that, pass interference and double possession, things like that. Those are going to be your ref's discretion. Same thing with the blocking, picking, any of those things. The ref's going to see that and he's going to make the decision on it. So just keep an eye on it and make sure you tell your players for things like pass interference, explain to them kind of what they are allowed to do on D if you can. Tell them about how you want them to play D. Be specific. Let them know, because again, these are mostly beginners. They don't know. They have not had any experience. You might be their first coach ever. So just give them that head start. Let them know about how you want to play defense in front of the guy. Make sure you're playing the ball too. No really physical contact again with the guy, so that it doesn't have to be a problem. With the blocking and picking, that's another thing that's really easy to accidentally do. For example, if a kid scores, we always think about it offensively, whereas if I hand it off and stand in the way of a guy, I'm blocking, which is also an example. That can happen on purpose or accident, but another one is if the kid's scoring, if you got 3 of your teammates around jumping up and down while you're trying to score, and a defender can't reach you, that's blocking. That's blocking. You'll lose a point and the ball will have to come back, or it's a penalty. if the defender at any time cannot reach you because another teammate has gotten in the way or is making it impossible to do so or hard to do so. So just keep that in mind. If they want to celebrate with their teammates, it's all good. Make sure they do it in the end zone after the play is over with. Encourage them to wait until the play's over, then celebrate at the huddle. And again, with the celebrations too, I don't mind it. I think it's a good part of the game. I like people get hyped and excited about what they do. Just make sure they're not too over the top and insulting. Make sure you're not putting anybody down with your celebration. You can spike the ball, don't spike anybody with it though, kind of thing. So all that stuff is easy to keep a watch on, but we like to say it up front anyway. Last but not least, double possessions I just mentioned. Those always go to the offense just to make it easy and simple. We make sure they always get it, and we keep moving. The winner of the coin toss will elect whether they want to receive the first, just like in the NFL game. And the play clock, we're as strict as we possibly can be, with understanding that we are working with beginners, but you want to take about 45 seconds to maybe a minute to get your team ready to play. We only have a short time, so don't spend a whole lot of time in the huddle trying to figure out anything complicated. Give a couple quick routes, quick play, something fast, and get them out there, because again, we want to get them as many reps as we possibly can. Last thing for football would be just the defensive coach's position, and just any coach in general, no matter what the sport you are in, make sure you don't affect the play. Try to stay out of the way of the actual game as much as possible. Sometimes it'll happen, the ball will hit you, or a kid will run into you, or you'll run over, it'll happen. But as much as you can, try to avoid them if you're on the field. And for football, like it says, we want you about 20 yards behind. We don't want you to be any part of the game. Let them feel as independent as humanly possible, man. But other than that, that's the program. Thank you all for your families, time, effort, and energy. Literally be impossible without you, man. We appreciate you, and here's Eric.
Awesome stuff, guys. Just a couple real quick things I forgot about, just want to touch on briefly. So there's going to be a few families, I'm sure, that order the wrong size. Our jerseys tend to run big. So if someone does have a jersey that, you know, they ordered a small, but really they're tiny and they should have an extra small, we'll have extras at the tent, so just go ahead and don't worry about it. Just send them back to our canopy, and we'll exchange it out for them as long as we have. We usually bring an overstock of jerseys for that purpose. Learn the player's name, guys, as much as you can, and I recommend, again, after the name tags come off, write down the jersey numbers next on the rosters of the kids. That way you can just memorize the names. You know, hopefully by midway of the season you got the names down and you can kind of high five them, call the names out. It's really important. The parents pick up on that. They like it when you call them by name. The pictures I forgot to mention, you guys will always get a free coach kid picture on that one, so that's a courtesy of the league. That's something we get back to you guys for coaching, so make sure you guys take that coach kid picture. For our Desert Heights program, please reach out to the parents on your roster by this Wednesday and just introduce yourself. We sent out on that email a template you guys can copy and paste, just change the information. For the Arrowhead, by next Wednesday, rosters are still getting late registrations up until opening day. So just make contact of them. We'll look at your latest roster be published. And we moved to the parent tunnel this season. We had a lot of kids, run through the tunnel, want to rerun. So a way that we're going to try to fix that this season is we're going to announce the coaches first. So we're going to announce the team name and then announce the coaches. Coaches, please run through the tunnel too, and then meet your kids at the end, and they can stop and then go back to the field instead of repeating the tunnel. And that's about it, guys. We do thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it.